Top of the morning, traders. How the devil are we this morning? I hope you're all well and getting ready for New Year's Eve. Guys, as always, we're going to look back at yesterday's trades. We're going to look at today's potential trades. And we're going to look at the important news for today as well. And today is Thursday, the 29th of December, just in case you wasn't sure. Also, guys, before I start, quick shout out to Trader Nick and A1 Trading. Thank you very much for having me on your show, guys. Always enjoy. And free announcements, guys. First of all, Discord. Come join the Discord channel, guys. The link is in the video description. Lots of people sharing great ideas and building a nice community, guys. So come join the Discord channel. Secondly, don't forget to join me for the live stream every Wednesday, 6:30 a.m. London GMT. Again, thanks to everyone who turned up yesterday. Really enjoy your questions. Really enjoy interacting with you. So, yeah, join us again next week. And thirdly, if you would like to be mentored by myself one-on-one, then drop us an email. All the information for all of these things are in the video description. Right, let's start with yesterday's trades then, guys. Okay, so the first one, let's look at the yen pairs to start with. All right, so one of the yen pairs was this, Swiss franc against the Japanese yen. All right, and as you can see, guys, price was very choppy, horrible price action, but then it broke. Okay, it was in a downtrend. It came all the way back up to these highs, but still in a downtrend unless it breaks these highs. And then price came shooting down, creating lower lows. All right, so clearly in a downtrend, guys. And then price had retraced into an interesting zone for us to start looking for shorts. All right, that's what we were looking for. If we drop down to the H1 now, I'll show you exactly what I was looking for. And it hasn't quite happened yet. So when price hits our grey zone up here, basically, guys, I'm looking for a change in H1 structure. Okay. And we just don't have that yet. Okay. I need to see a break, of this level here, guys. Okay. So perhaps even today, if price action does this, and we get a break of these lows, then, this is still potentially a trade idea. But yesterday, guys, it just didn't break this level, these last lows. So it's still in a H1 upwards trend for me. So no trade, Swiss franc, Japanese yen. The second yen pair we looked at was this. It was Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. All right. And again, let's start with the day chart. So on the day chart, price is clearly in a downtrend. Okay, and then we had a lot of choppy action and then bang, come down further. All right, so we're clearly in a downtrend and then price come back up to test this level here, to test these last lows. Okay, this could potentially be a good area to take shorts down to the last daily lows. All right, so that was the idea. And as you can see, we have got a bit of a reaction in there. Let's take a look at H1 to see exactly if we could trade this pair. And if you saw me on Trader Nick's show last night, I was telling you exactly where to short this pair. So price hit our grey zone, literally to a couple of pips. Yeah, and before that, price was clearly in an uptrend. Okay, what is wrong with my mouse this morning? And then once it hit this grey zone, we just got a load of choppy price action. All right, because you've got to understand, guys, we've got buyers on the H1 and then we've got daily sellers, at this daily resistance level. Okay, this is why we get this kind of box of choppy price action. But eventually, guys, we got a winner. Yeah, this red candle here, once this forms, this tells me sellers have won the battle and sellers are in control. Okay, so I actually traded off of this red candle here. I got a slight retrace, guys. Yeah, I entered here. I put my stop above the high here. Okay, these last highs above the box of indecision. And then I took price back down to 36, I think it was. So about here, guys. So this was my risk. Yeah, and then this was my reward. Okay. And when I take it down to this level, guys, this is where I close 80% of my trade. Okay, I close 80% of my trade, and now I'm just going to leave 20% to run. All right. And then all I will do, guys, with the remaining 20%, remember my stop is up here. All right. Depending on price action, if we get something like this, I will just keep trailing my stop. All right. So, yeah, great trade on Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. These boxes of indecision followed by a bearish or bullish candle. These are my bread and butter, guys. Yeah, really are. Okay, so good trade, Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I hope you took the same trade. I'm still in this for 20%. All right. What was the next one we were looking at? Okay, Euro Aussie dollar. This has been an interesting one. So Euro Aussie dollar, guys, let's take a look at this. So if we look on the day chart, you remember we had this grey zone mapped out. All right, and this is an important grey zone because of obvious reasons. Yeah, price was using this grey zone as an area to jump off from, yeah, to use as support. And at one point yesterday, we thought potentially this grey zone was breaking down. But no, yeah, look at the wick on this candle. Yeah, it has shot back up. All right, and we are definitely still looking for longs on this pair. This grey zone has held and it's closed back below this low, which I also like. All right, so yeah, if we're still looking for longs on this pair. But let's see what happened yesterday to see if we had a trade on this pair. So let's go down to the H1, guys. Yeah, we were just looking to take it up to this 16,000 level. The thing with this is, guys, we just didn't have a trade because structurally every other time frame was in a downtrend. Yeah, if we look at H4, yeah, clearly in a downtrend. Yeah. Yeah, if we go to a H1 chart now, yeah, clearly in a downtrend. All right, so for me, guys, we just didn't get a trade yesterday, okay? Because, yeah, we just wasn't with lower time frame structure. And then once it got down to here, I was thinking potentially, you know, a change in direction for the Euro Aussie dollar. But then we saw this massive rally, and we are still looking for longs now. All right. What I'd like to see today is, you know, potentially something like this. Yeah, and then we're sort of with H1 structure then. Yeah, we're getting higher highs. Something like this. It could even come back down and test these lows. Yeah, and then we shoot off. Okay, sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my mouse this morning. I do not know. So yeah, no trade. Yeah, we just wasn't with lower time frame structure. Fourth idea yesterday, but lots of ideas yesterday, was this pound US dollar. Okay, pound US dollar. Here we are. So yeah, this trade caught me out, guys. All right, and let me explain why. Okay, so remember we were looking for shorts, and we are still looking for shorts today. Price was clearly in an uptrend. Yeah, higher highs, higher lows. And then, but ever since this high here, okay, this is actually weekly resistance as well up here. We eventually broke these lows here. Okay, and as a result, this grey zone through here has become an important area of resistance. Okay, so we were trying to come off this grey zone and back down to this blue line. All right. So that was the idea. Let's look on H1 to see how we traded it. And to be honest with you guys, I traded this and it was a losing trade. Let me explain why. So, yeah, so price come up into our first grey zone and then we saw this candle. Yeah. What was not to like about this candle? Yeah, it was a good candle. Yeah, price had come back up into our grey zone. We still didn't break this last H1 high here. Yeah, that held. We got a bullish candle. Yeah, a very bullish, very bearish candle, bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. I actually got a retrace, entered here, with a view to taking price lower, guys. Yeah, but instead my stop was here, and as you can see, my stop got taken out. Yeah, and it was very bullish up until our next grey zone, and then sure enough, at our second grey zone, price reacted, you know, crazy strongly. All right, so yeah, got stopped out here, guys, but you know, the trade is still intact because we got such a good reaction here. Yeah, still tells me sellers are in control and we want to come lower. The problem with this candle is, guys, I just couldn't enter on this candle. Yeah, because imagine if you enter on the close of this candle, yeah, you still realistically have to put your stop up here, and then you've got a massive risk and very little reward. If I see a candle like this, I need quite a large retrace, you know, perhaps up to here, and then I can start taking shorts, because then this to here is my risk and it makes sense. Okay, so yeah, couldn't trade off of this large candle here for those reasons. Risk to reward just didn't make sense, guys. All right, but obviously quite frustrating for me yesterday, because although I entered here, yeah, my stop was here. Once it come up and hit our second grey zone, yeah, it was still the right direction. Okay, doesn't matter. I followed my money management. We will have losing trades, guys. All right, so there you go. Pound US dollar, a frustrating trade, but you know, we learned from them. The final idea from yesterday was this. It was New Zealand US dollar. All right, so let's take a look at this, guys. So a similar trade to pound US dollar. Yeah, price was clearly in an uptrend, okay, until we hit this weekly resistance level, and then price has come breaking down, breaking this last low here. Okay, so again, this grey zone through here has become an important level. All right, and we're just looking to take price from that grey zone back down to this blue line here. Yeah, this 6,2000 level. Okay, so that was the idea. Let's look on the H1 chart now to see what happened. And for this one, guys, we just didn't get a setup. Yeah, because structurally we were in a downtrend on the H1, and great, we were looking for this to happen, for that trend to continue. Okay, a break of this grey zone. But that didn't happen, guys. Instead, it found a lot of buyers at this level, okay, which is potentially what can happen. It's a support and resistance level. And then price shot back up into our second grey zone. But obviously now we're not with H1 structure. All right, so yeah, no trade. Today, if the price did something like this, yeah, and this low broke here, then potentially I think we have a trade to the downside. All right, but yesterday, no trade on New Zealand US dollar. All right, guys, so yeah, that's the recap of yesterday. Very important, the recap, guys. You will learn something from the recap. Let's take a look at today's trades now. So a mixed bag yesterday, guys. We was in one good trade and one bad trade, but we're still in the good trade. So we're still making a little bit of profit as we speak. And if you enjoyed that recap, maybe you learned something, then come join us. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash that like button. Really helps support the channel. Thank you very much, guys. Right, so trades for Thursday, the 29th of December. Before I start, I'd like to thank Trader Nick and A1 Trading for having me on their show last night. Always enjoy it. And then firstly from us, guys, our Discord channel. Come join the Discord channel, a great community of traders sharing some wonderful ideas. What's not to like? The link is in the video description. Secondly, guys, don't forget the live stream every Wednesday, 6:30 a.m. London GMT. Thank you to everyone who turned up yesterday. I enjoyed interacting with you. And thirdly, guys, if you would like to be mentored one-on-one with myself, then drop us an email and we'll send you all the details, guys. All right, all the information for all of these things are in the video description. Right, trade ideas for today then, for Thursday the 29th of December, guys. It's a little bit deja vu, to be quite honest, but yeah, no problem, as long as we are profitable. So the first trade is this, Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. So we made money off this pair yesterday, guys. All right. So for the same reasons, we're looking to trade it. It's clearly in a downtrend, bit of chop here, and then bang, it come down further. And now it retraced up into this grey zone. And this grey zone is now potentially an area we can start shorting down to one of these blue lines. All right. If we zoom in, yeah, you can see we've had a little bit of a reaction there. Yeah. Yeah, we can see this wick. It's not super bearish, guys, but I'll show you on the H1 why I like it shortly. Yeah, but we've had a reaction at this grey zone. Let's take it down to one of this blue line or even this blue line. All right, let's go to H1 now to see what we're looking to do here. So, yeah, yesterday how I made money, guys, is because it come up to our grey zone. Yeah, H1 structure eventually breaks here, breaking these lows, and then I was just in this trade to the downside. All right, I got my risk to reward for 1:1. Well, I got more than 1:1, and I'm just leaving 20% to run. Okay, so that was the trade from yesterday, but we are still with H1 structure. So all I want to see today, guys, is two things happen. So we stay with H1 structure. Okay, so price comes back up into this grey box. I chose this grey box because price has reacted here, 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 and here. All right, so this grey box is important. Price comes up to this grey box, we get a bearish reaction. We take price back down. My usual target is the last H1 high or low. Yeah, take price back down to here, close 80%. And then I'll leave 20% to run, perhaps down to here, or even our higher time frame target. All right, guys, so that's the first scenario. I'm going to show you the H4 chart now, because on the H4, you know, we're technically still in an uptrend. So what could happen on the H4 is we get price comes back up to the last high. Yeah, we get a double top. All right, we get a bearish reaction here, and then we start taking price lower. Okay, so we could trade this idea as well. All right, but both ideas, we're looking for Canadian dollar, Japanese yen short. Next trade idea, again, deja vu, is Swiss franc, Japanese yen. So if we look at the day chart, guys, yeah, it's a similar scenario to Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. It's just come into an interesting zone for us to potentially start shorting. So we had this horrible choppy price action. We broke these lows. Yeah, price came all the way back up, tested the last high, and then it shot back down, creating a new lower low. Okay, so we're clearly in a downtrend. All right. And now price has come back up into this grey zone of interest. Yeah, so what we want to see is price kind of break down in here, and then we can take it back down to one of these blue lines. All right, these are my targets. All right, so let's look at the H1 now, because this is my day chart, guys, and my weekly chart is always, why am I entering the trade? Or, you know, why am I longing? Why am I shorting? Or why am I staying the hell out of the market? And then I use H4, H1, M15 to really pinpoint my entry. All right, so that's how I roll. And the problem here, guys, with this Swiss franc Japanese yen is we just haven't had a break of structure yet. So that's what I'm looking for today. So on this chart, H1 chart, you can clearly see price is still potentially in an uptrend, and it could do this, yeah? So what I want to see is price potentially break these levels, okay? So price comes up, comes back down, breaks this level, and we can start shorting this pair. All right, so that's the idea. Let me even put a grey zone in for you. Yeah, so we're looking for, there's clearly an area through here of support. So I just want to see a break of this support, retest, and then we can come lower. This one, or even this one. All right, guys, so Swiss franc, Japanese yen, once we get a structure breakdown. The next trade idea, again, deja vu, I hear you say, is this, the euro against the Aussie dollar. And this was a very interesting trade. So, yeah, if we look on the day chart, we can clearly see we're in an uptrend. Okay, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And now this grey zone has become important. It's become an important area of support to potentially take price up to our higher time frame target, this 16,000. Okay, so that's the idea. It was interesting yesterday because, yeah, well, it was coming down below this grey zone. But then look at this wick. Yeah, this wick from yesterday is clearly buyers have come back into the market. Yeah, we had sellers, 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 sellers all day. And then buyers were like, right, let's start buying this market. And what I really like, guys, if we zoom in, I like the fact that this wick has closed back above this last low here. Okay, this fills me with confidence to keep taking price back up. All right, so that's the idea. Euro Aussie dollar, we're looking to long this pair. If we drop down to the H1 chart, I just want to see H1 structure in an uptrend. All right, however that looks, yeah, I just want to see H1 structure in an uptrend because currently, as you can see, yeah, price is clearly in a downtrend. Okay, and it could quite easily do this back down to these lows. Okay, so that's one possibility. Price could come back down to these lows. All right, the aggressive trade would be we get a bullish reaction at this level. Yeah, we get a bullish candle and then we can start buying this pair. All right, that's the aggressive trade. There's nothing wrong with that. We can be aggressive with our trades sometimes. But what I want to see, guys, like I say, is a break up. Yeah, because I'm looking for an uptrend. A break up in structure. So let's say price does something like this. Maybe it does come down to the bottom. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it comes down to here. Yeah, and then I start seeing price action like this. Okay, so as soon as we start getting higher lows, higher highs, yeah, I will start buying the heck out of this pair. All right, so I want to see something like that. I want to be with H1 structure. But Euro Aussie dollar, we are looking for buys. What's the next trade? The final trade for today, guys. And before I do the final trade, if you are enjoying this analysis, I hope you are, then come join us. I do this every morning, give you my trade ideas, give you my grey zones, what I'm looking for. So if you would like to receive this every morning, then subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and also smash the like button. Muchas gracias. Many languages I speak. I don't. Okay, final trade idea for today is this: pound against the US dollar. We could have had New Zealand against the US dollar as well, to be quite honest. Okay, so you could look for shorts on New Zealand US dollar, but I prefer this pair because we had because of this reaction here. If I zoom in, yeah, this wick was a stronger reaction at our grey zone than New Zealand US dollar was. That's all. That's why I prefer this over New Zealand US dollar, but they're pretty much identical trades. All right, so let's have a look at this then. So yeah, price was clearly in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Yeah, this area here, although it's not drawn in, is an area of weekly resistance. So price has reacted here, okay, and eventually this last low here has broken down. Okay, so for me, we're in a downtrend. All right. And now this grey zone, because it was once resistance here, support here, it's become an important grey zone and potential resistance now, and it keeps reacting at this level. So the idea was to come from this grey zone back down to this blue line, this 1950 level, which corresponds with these last lows here. All right, so that's the structure and idea. And guys, yeah, like I pointed out, we've got this. I mean, this is telling me sellers are in control. Yeah, we've got a red candle followed by a huge wick. Sellers are in control here. If we drop down to the H1 chart now, this is how I'm going to trade it. So let me zoom out a little. I can't zoom out. I don't know how I'm going to show you this trade. So price for me is in a bit of a range. Okay, let's zoom out some more. Yeah, it's in a bit of a range at the moment, but this is more of a higher time frame look. Okay, so it's been ranging between these two grey zones. But remember, guys, we're looking for shorts. All right. So when it comes down to here, I am not happy to buy up to here. That is not a trade for me because my daily chart and weekly chart have told me to short this pair. So two things can happen, guys. Price comes all the way back up to the top of this range. Yeah, tests these highs again. We get a bearish reaction or a bearish candlestick pattern. We can then enter the trade and we can take price back down to this grey zone. Okay, this is where I would close 80% and then leave 20% to run. Okay, because that's how I roll. So that's one trade idea. Or we get a break of this range. It's difficult to show you guys without zooming out too much. So yeah, we get a break of all of these lows. So price comes back down, we get a break, we get a retest back into here, we get a bearish reaction, and then we can start shorting from this grey zone here as well. All right, guys, I think this scenario is more likely looking at the price action, but we will see. Either idea is applicable. So yeah, pound US dollar, guys, we're looking to short this as well. All right, so Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, Japanese yen short, euro Aussie dollar long, pound US dollar short. All right, guys, let's take a look at the news now. Guys, if you're enjoying this daily morning analysis and would like to receive it every single day, Monday to Friday, then come join us. Subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash that like button. Thank you very much. Right, guys, news for Thursday, the 29th of December. As you can imagine, the Christmas period isn't, rife with news. But today we do get a couple of pieces of news that's important. And it's these two, guys. If I scroll down at 1:30 London GMT, we've got initial jobless claims coming out of the US. All right, so this could really move the US dollar because you have to bear in mind volume is low. Okay, so once it starts going, it could really go. And then after that, guys, at 4 o'clock, we've got crude oil inventories coming out of the US. So this could affect the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. All right. And then as you can see after that, guys, no news that we're interested in. All right. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the vid. If you have, please subscribe, like, and share. And I will see you tomorrow.